Welcome to the February 2023 Nutrition Support Monthly Call. This is Helen Folks, and I will be providing you an overview of important updates for the Child Nutrition Program on today's Zoom. Please use the chat box feature to ask any questions, and the state agency team is going to be on standby to answer your questions. On today's agenda, we have what's new in memos and resources, important due dates. I'm going to talk on verification data accuracy. We'll go over the 2022 NSLP equipment grant, summer 2024 pandemic electronic benefits, transfer and supply chain assistance, school year 22-23 flexibilities, transitional standards on milk, whole grains, and the sodium final rule, as well as some information on a proposed final rule that's upcoming, the Medicaid demonstration project, some training updates, and also some summer 2023 updates. Before we dive into the memos and resources that are new since our last monthly call, I wanted to remind everyone about the Outstanding School Support Employees Award. Annually, the department recognizes and celebrates some of the state's most exceptional school support staff through the Outstanding School Support Employee Awards program. This program provides the opportunity to acknowledge those support employees who provide excellent service to students, that rendered time and talents above the call of duty, exemplify Louisiana's best in the education profession, and play an integral role in school and student success. All school systems are encouraged to select up to 3 support staff, which is 1 per division, elementary, middle, and high, as their local level honorees, and submit these candidates to for the state to process. Now, part of the process for naming the Outstanding School Support Employee Award includes recommendation from teachers, principals, district employees, parents, colleagues, and community members. To assist with the process, a nominations portal was created. So please go and scan the QR code with your smartphone to access the nomination portal. It's right here on this slide. Remember that the due date for submissions is February 14th. So scan the QR to nominate your love of your outstanding employees today. So please contact Dana Dozat with any questions. Her email address is dana.dozat@la.gov. And thank you, Dana, for leading this important project. So to start off our session, the next slides will cover what's new in memos and resources, as well as new training topics that should spark your interest. The close of the application period for the 2022 NSLP equipment grant was on January 31st, 2023. So Louisiana was awarded 2 funding streams through the Consolidated Appropriations Act and the American Rescue Plan Act. The combined funding allocated to Louisiana totals over $1.3 million for the administration and distribution of funds to eligible school food authorities through competitive award. The goals for the grant include improvement in key focus areas, including improving the ability to serve healthier meals, supporting scratch cooking, improving food safety, storing fresh food, upgrading equipment, and supporting the establishment, maintenance, or expansion of the school breakfast program. SFAs were eligible to apply for up to $24,000 per piece of equipment by eligible site. And remember that only 1 piece of equipment may be awarded per site request. Awards will be emailed to school food authorities by a target date of February 24th, 2023. So please make sure that you know to begin your procurement activities after you receive the award and submit the request for reimbursement, including completion of a funding request in the original online application. And also remember to email me a purchase order or invoice at helen.folks@la.gov. The quicker school food authorities obligate funds and provide me with those 2 requirements, the more likely it will be that you will receive funding in a timely fashion through EFT or check. So for more information, please log into the CMP website, go to the form section under the title of the 2022 NSLP Equipment Grant, and click on the PowerPoint training for details and instructions. So this memo, SFS 23-035, announces that annual adjustments to the reimbursement rates for meals served in the summer food service program for children have been issued for calendar year 2023. These new rates reflect an increase in the summer food service program reimbursement according to changes in the Consumer Price Index, which is required under the Richard B. Russell National School Lunch Act. The notice is published in the Federal Register at the link listed on this slide, and you can also access a PDF of that same release. The USDA FNS public website also provides these links at usda.gov under the Summer Food Service Program reimbursement rates link listed at the bottom of the slide. As a reminder, the verification summary form was due on January 10th, 2023. If you have been contacted by state agency staff to make corrections, please submit those corrections as soon as feasible. You're going to want to refer to memo SFS 23-033. It is a verification resource reference there for guidance on how to complete the form based on your school district designation and CEP participation. As reminded this year, all school types are required to report the number of free and reduced price Medicaid direct certification results as of October 31st. For RCCIs without day students, 0 is reported in both areas. So please refer to memo SFS 23-037 for information on the December 2022 SNAP TANF data, which was loaded to eScholar Direct Match. LDOE ran the statewide SNAP and TANF matches for all school districts, both public and non-public. So districts should go in now and resolve any near matches in the batches that are listed on this screen. SNAP batch number 4152 and TANF batch number 4149. So if you need assistance with any of these eScholar Direct Match areas, please contact Jane, and her email address is linked on this slide. The December Medicaid free lunch and Medicaid reduced lunch data have also been loaded to eScholar Direct Match, and the Department of Education ran the statewide Medicaid free and reduced lunch matches for all school districts, both public and non-public. Districts should resolve any of the near matches listed in batch number 4212, and that would be the free lunch batch, and then the reduced lunch batch at number 4211. So again, for any assistance, you'll want to contact Jane at the email address listed on this slide. The USDA webinar titled Streaming Program Requirements and Improving Integrity in the Summer Food Service Program is now available for viewing online by child nutrition program operators. The PowerPoint slide deck from the webinar is also available. Both links can be found on the FNS website at the link on this slide. This SFSP final rule overview summarizes several critical changes coming to summer feeding for a variety of areas. So please log in to the link on this slide to view the webinar and slide deck. Many children rely on school meals so they do not go hungry. And nutrition support really wants to hear from you about your plans to keep kids fed over the summer months when school is out. The Louisiana Department of Education Office of Nutrition Support is conducting a survey of all school food authorities and sponsors in advance of summer 2023 program participation. The purpose is to ensure that the state agency is informed of essential information for use in program outreach and administration of the USDA summer child nutrition programs. This quick survey takes only a few minutes to complete, so please use the QR code on this slide and complete the summer 2023 survey now using your smartphone. The state agency expects that projected information entered into the survey for summer program participation may change prior to submission of the Summer Food Service Program online application. Therefore, please read the questions and provide responses based on the operations that you have planned for summer 2023 to the best of your knowledge. The state agency has received a great response so far, so please join in on our efforts to keep kids fed, healthy, and happy over the summer months. Input from you is making a big difference for the summer programs. So thank you in advance for your participation in this important effort. The Become a Professional Standards Tracking Tool Pro webinar recording is now available. This informational webinar reviews basic features, including how to manage employee profiles, log trainings, and print certificates. Highlights include some of the latest updates to the tool, such as deactivating and reactivating employee profiles, bulk upload of trainings and employee profiles, and the new job title categories. This tool is a free and voluntary online tool developed by USDA to assist school nutrition professionals in keeping track of their annual required training hours. The recording is available with either English or Spanish captions on Team Nutrition's website. The guidance under USDA Memo SP 02-2023 provides details on how eligibility is determined for severe need reimbursement for the school breakfast program and the 2-cent differential reimbursement for the National School Lunch Program in school year 23-24. In terms of background, schools are eligible for the severe need breakfast reimbursement rates if 40% or more of lunches served to students at school during the second preceding year were at the free or reduced price rate. School food authorities are eligible for the 2-cent differential reimbursement for lunches if 60% or more of the National School Lunch Program lunches served in the second preceding school year were at the free or reduced rate. So typically data from school year 21-22 would be used to determine eligibility for severe need breakfast and the 2-cent differential reimbursements in school year 23-24. However, many schools participated in the seamless summer option last school year under the nationwide waiver to allow the SSO through school year 21-22, and therefore served all students free meals due to the impacts of COVID-19. While the SSO is part of the NSLP, a distinction must be made between the two programs for the purposes of determining eligibility for severe need breakfast and the 2-cent differential reimbursement rates, since all meals are claimed at the free reimbursement rates under SSO. So as a result, schools that utilize the waiver may not have complete data, which is necessary to determine eligibility for severe need breakfast rates and the 2-cent differential lunch rates in 23-24. So on June 15th, 2022, FNS published guidance for school years 2022-2023 and for program year 24. And that memo stated that schools that did not operate the National School Lunch Program during school year 21-22 must determine eligibility for severe need breakfast and the 2-cent differential reimbursement for lunch in school year 23-24 using the percentage of lunches served for free or at the reduced price during school year 22-23. Because all meals are claimed at the free rate in SSO, FNS considers schools that opted into the SSO waiver to not have operated the National School Lunch Program during school year 21-22. Therefore, these schools are not able to use 21-22 data to establish eligibility in school year 23-24. So moving forward, the guidance for school year 23-24 in terms of eligibility determinations state that if a school claimed meals under NSLP for each month from October 21 through April 22, the state agency will determine that the school operated NSLP for all of the 21-22 school year. Otherwise, the state agency must use the guidance in upcoming slides for schools that operated the seamless summer option in place of NSLP under the nationwide waiver during the 21-22 school year. So here's what this looks like. If your SFA used SSO last school year, then the state agency must use data from at least 3 claims in school year 22-23 to establish eligibility for severe need reimbursement for next school year, which is school year 23-24. As a general reminder, even if a school is participating in the CEP as part of a group or cluster, the school's eligibility for severe need breakfast reimbursement still has to be based on that individual school's identified student population, or ISP. Applying this guidance to CEP in school year 23-24, if the CEP school operated NSLP in school year 21-22, state agencies must use the school's individual ISP from school year 21-22 for the severe need determination in 23-24. If the CEP school operated SSO through the nationwide waiver during school year 21-22, the state agency will use the school's individual ISP from 22-23 for the severe need determination in 23-24. For schools that are new in school year 23-24 or which do not have at least 3 months of claims from school year 22-23, the state agencies will actually follow this reference that is listed on this slide, and it is called Eligibility for Severe Need Rates for the School Breakfast Program under Food and Nutrition Services. So very similarly, in terms of the 2-cent differential reimbursement for lunch, SFAs that operated the National School Lunch Program in all of their schools during school year 21-22 have second prior year data available to determine eligibility for the 2-cent differential reimbursement for school year 23-24. Therefore, For these SFAs, the state agencies may use the percentage of lunches served free or at the reduced price during school year 21-22 to determine eligibility for the 2-cent differential reimbursement for 23-24. For SFAs with 1 or more sites that operated SSO under the nationwide waiver during school year 21-22, state agencies must use data from at least 3 claims in school year 22-23 to establish eligibility for the 2-cent differential in school year 23-24. For SFAs that are new to the NSLP in 23-24 or which do not have at least 3 months of claims, state agencies will then default to the manual in terms of determining eligibility for 2-cent differential. The Louisiana Team Nutrition Festival of Flavors project is hosting 4 culinary trainings. The trainings will be held in Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, Monroe, and Alexandria in February and March. We encourage you to send staff members who would benefit from hands-on training. Chef Cindy and the K-12 culinary team will be leading the trainings. The trainings will allow participants to practice culinary skills while preparing newly developed Louisiana Team Nutrition recipes. Priority registration has been given to Louisiana Team Nutrition school districts. The training in Baton Rouge is filled to capacity, so take a look at the Monroe and Alexandria registration links for opportunities to attend. Now, today is the kickoff of the Lake Charles session, so please take a look at these other 2 opportunities upcoming. All trainings will run from 8 to 2:30, and registration is from 7:30 to 8. Visit the calendar on the Louisiana Fit Kids site to register or use the links on the slide. You can also contact Kathy Carmichael at catherine.carmichael@prbc.edu for any questions. USDA Team Nutrition is pleased to announce new and updated Discover My Plate nutrition education resources for kindergarten. Team Nutrition has expanded the set to include additional foods, Spanish language components, and new materials showing where food comes from. Kindergarten teachers and health nutrition educators can use the standard-based lessons to help kids learn about nutrition while also reinforcing math, science, English, and health education content. School nutrition professionals can reinforce key Discover My Plate messages at school meals. And parents and caregivers can use the fun readers activity sheets and more to help their children learn about food while practicing reading and math skills. Discover My Plate can serve as a tool for local educational agencies to meet nutrition education goals described in their local school wellness policy. So please go ahead and access these materials. They're free and available online at the link on this screen. The Louisiana Department of Education training schedule for January is posted and includes the following trainings. Please register for each at louisianafitkids.com. All training recordings and slides are posted within a week after the live presentation. And in order to access that, you can go to louisianafitkids.com/home/training slides. So what we have upcoming right now on Wednesday, February 8th, will be nutrition support office hours at 1:00 p.m. And school food service staff will be available during this time to answer your questions, comments, or concerns. So please join us for any assistance. The Thursday, February 9th training will cover upcoming supply chain assistance funds. And on Tuesday, February 14th, a session will be provided on bid specifications for food. This is an important meeting as we go into the part of the year where we're preparing bids and putting those out in order to meet our requirements for procurement. So remember that in child nutrition programs, that food specifications drive the quality and cost of the meals you serve, and it assists vendors in understanding exactly what you want to purchase for forecasting so that you can also get a competitive price and get your quotes. On Thursday, February 16th, community eligibility provision will be the topic. State agency will provide you with additional information related to the community eligibility provision and its impact on the National School Lunch Program and school breakfast operations. On Thursday, February 23rd, the topic of meal denials and health inspections will be covered. So please join us in this informational session on the issues that result in meal denials, along with updates pertaining to health inspections. USDA Secretary Tom Vilsack provided a live stream presentation on February 3rd, 2023, titled Driving Improvements in Child Health Through School Meals. This event may still be accessed on usda.gov/live, so please take a moment to listen to his important message about the role of CMP operators in providing the nutrition security and quality that leads to improvements in national security, health, equity in both access and potential for vitality, and the essential role sound nutrition plays in the cognitive development of kids. Vilsack highlighted plans for improvement in nutrition quality and security that will pave the way for our children to achieve success and new heights in academics. So please take a look at that exciting and once live YouTube session on usda.gov/live. Yesterday, February 6, 2023, the proposed rule for child nutrition programs revision to meal patterns consistent with the 2020 Dietary Guidelines for Americans was filed for public inspection by the Federal Register. To access the publication, please use your smartphone to capture the QR code on this slide. To register for the upcoming webinar, please register at the link on this slide. The webinar is scheduled for Tuesday, February 21st from 1 to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Based on the latest nutrition science and extensive feedback from school meal partners, USDA's Food and Nutrition Service is proposing updates to the school nutrition standards in a few key areas to give children the right balance of nutrients for a healthy and appealing meals. So the proposed updates reflect the goals of the most recent dietary guidelines with a time frame built in to allow for planning and implementation to ensure the school meals community and the children they serve are set up for success. This proposed rule is the next step in an ongoing effort toward healthier school meals that USDA and the broader school meals community have been partnering on for well over a decade. USDA expects to issue a final rule in time for schools to plan for school year 24-25. Now, the transitional meal pattern requirements discussed toward the end of the CNP monthly call is the start of a step-by-step process that USDA plans to implement over time in reaching a new final rule. The comment period on the proposed final rule will be open for the next 60 days starting today. So remember, as we go over 4 areas of focus for menu and nutrition standards in the latter part of this training, that the nutrition changes outlined are a proposal at this time and have not been finalized by USDA. There are several areas that will rely on public and CNP operator comments before the final rules are set in place. So please use this time to review the proposal at the QR code linked on the Federal Register and to make comments to assist USDA in finalizing rules that work in the child nutrition environment where you are every day. So a summary of important due dates for February 2023 is next up for discussion. As a quick look, here are the important due dates which have been posted on the CNP website under resources. School Food Authority on-site monitoring should have been completed by February 1st. And if you're just not there, please work to complete on-site monitoring now. To find the monitoring forms to use, please go to the CNP website. You don't even have to log in to access these. Go to Memos and Resources, and next you'll click on Forms and go to the School Food Service General Forms. Under that heading is the on-site monitoring review form. This form must be completed by SFAs with more than one school site annually by February 1st. And we're going to go over some additional monitoring areas later on in this session. As a reminder, don't forget to submit your January 2023 claim and check for any claims that were not successfully submitted or processed. Please remember to input any site and health inspections into the School Food Service online application using the directions on this slide. And make sure that you are using the correct health inspection date. Now, if you need a reference to where to find the exact dates for these health inspections, please go to eatsafe.la.gov, and there is a search engine there for you to look up your health inspections by site. So that's how you can go back and check. Additionally, please report any January meal denials in the CNP website, if applicable, using the instructions on the screen. And just like any other month, please download any and all eScholar Direct Match data that is available. And that's just a reminder to what we covered earlier in this training. So monitoring is a very hot topic right now with USDA, and it's a hot topic in terms of administrative reviews and accountability. So monitoring is where school site accountability needs can be identified, and training for corrections will be planned, provided, and documented. In absence of the many waivers available for the pandemic, CNP operators should ensure that school administrators, child nutrition program managers, and staff are aware that the program requirements are more or less back to business as usual with regular program requirements in place. Meal counting and claiming, including point of service procedures, should be carefully reviewed at the site levels to ensure that child nutrition program managers and staff fully understand the accountability requirements and procedures, especially for the point of service. Be sure to take note of alternative procedures that are in place, such as for in-house detention, breakfast in the classroom, and grab-and-go services. Adults outside of school food service workers should pay the adult price for meals, meaning employees pay the employee price for meals, and guests of any age at the school pay the at-cost price for meals. As a reminder, school breakfast, lunch, and after-school snacks must be consumed on site, which is the meaning of congregate feeding. While off-site consumption of meals was routine during the pandemic, this is no longer an allowable practice. So just as an overview to major monitoring areas, every school year prior to February 1st, each school food authority with more than one school, including residential child care institutions, must perform no less than one on-site review of the meal counting and claiming system and the readily observable general areas of the review in each school operating the National School Lunch Program and at least half of schools operating the School Breakfast Program. Also, each on-site review must ensure the school's claim is based on the counting and claiming system as implemented and yields the actual number of reimbursable free, reduced price, and paid meals, respectively, served for each day of the operation. For those offering the after-school snack program, the ASP monitoring form must be completed within the 4 weeks of operations, first 4 weeks of operations. In terms of food service management company monitoring, this would be handled in addition to on-site monitoring, and an official from the SFA or LEA must conduct a monitoring visit of each food service site operated by a food service management company where meals are prepared and are served to be sure they are in compliance with the contract and with USDA requirements. And this has to take place twice per year. The monitoring forms are linked on this slide, and additional forms may be found at the link listed at the bottom of this slide. Next up for discussion is School Food Authority comments on the online application revision. And we have been over this several times, and I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention that there will be a revision box that pops up. This is what it will look like. And a comment will be required to explain any revisions that you plan to submit. And this will take place for both school food service and the summer food service program. And this really helps guide us in terms of understanding why you input a revision, and it also guides us as to where we need to go check in the application to make sure that the changes that you actually intended were made and that everything is accurate. And this can really help us to improve our approval time for applications. So I wanted to make everyone aware that this process is in place. So in terms of reminders, I just wanted to make sure that everyone is aware that their online applications have been approved, that the 60-day calendar deadline for submitting claims still applies, so check in on those claim deadlines. And then anytime you need to make a change to the online application, that is fine. It is a living document, so the Child Nutrition Program online application should be updated periodically during the year with any new information and with any changes or corrections that come to light. You should submit a revision. The next slides are a review of summer and pandemic EBT provisions in the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2023, which was recently passed. For information on summer and pandemic EBT provisions in the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2023, please go to the FRAC link included on this slide. All states and territories, as well as Indian tribal organizations that participate in WIC, can participate beginning in summer of 2024. Families will receive at least $40 a month per eligible child, totaling $120 per child summer benefit in 2024. Children attending year-round schools are eligible for benefits, and the Secretary of Agriculture will establish those guidelines. In terms of summer and PEBT provisions in the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2023, we'll first focus on summer EBT benefits, which can be used by families to purchase food from retailers approved for participation in SNAP. DCFS will be working to determine a plan for Louisiana where benefits will be automatically issued to eligible children who are certified for free or reduced price meals in the school year immediately preceding the summer, and must make an application available for children who are not certified for free or reduced price meals. It is my current understanding that any children attending CEP schools that are thereby eligible as free status for school meals will receive summer PEBT benefits without the requirement of a free or reduced application. However, these plans are all still in process and will be handled primarily by DCFS, and we will be working alongside them in terms of making determinations on how this will flow. Additionally, there must be a way for eligible households to opt out of these programs. So the purpose of the benefits is that families would use these funds over the summer months. States will be required to remove or expunge benefits from the EBT card after 4 months. The Secretary of Agriculture will determine the exact rules on expungement timelines at a later date. And summer EBT offsets include ending emergency allotments for SNAP in February with an average cut of 82 per person per month, and reducing PEBT benefits in summer 2023 from approximately $450 to a maximum of $120. In terms of pandemic EBT, it will remain available for both school age and young children during the summer of 2023. Eligible children will receive a $40 per month benefit. Children who are homeschooled or attend school virtually during the 22-23 school year due to concerns about the pandemic remain eligible for PEBT benefits during the school year, but are no longer eligible for benefits during the summer of 2023. The requirement that states have a school year plan for children in childcare or school-age children in order to issue PEBT benefits for the summer of 2023 was eliminated. If the public health emergency declaration for COVID-19 is extended into the 23-24 school year, then states are eligible to run the PEBT program during the time the public health emergency is in place during instructional months. So in terms of references to go to for support, please take a snapshot of this. There are support toolboxes at the Data Manager Toolbox link and helpful links such as the PEBT website, the parent portal, the LA Cafe login. For contact, there is dcfs.pebtsupport@la.gov and a series of numbers for parents in order to receive help, whether it's the DCFS help desk or the EBT Card Center help desk. Okay, for school year 22-23, we have had paid lunch equity flexibility, and the PLE flexibilities available for this year have been that the PLE requirements for school year 2023 are waived, and this pertains to the school lunch prices for school year 22-23 only. Let's now go to our transitional standards on milk, whole grains, and the sodium final rule. So 1 year ago today, on February 7th, 2022, USDA published the Transitional Standards Final Rule, which it went to in effect on July 1st, 2022. The Transitional Standards provide a 2-year time frame for implementation of standards and flexibility until permanent meal pattern standards can be redesigned. In light of the proposed final rule for nutrition standards, these transitional standards for the final rule are planned as step 1 and part of a multi-step, multi-year implementation model for meeting the dietary guidelines for Americans in school meals. Remember that your input will be critical in communicating the challenges and successes experienced during the transitional period in order to affect the development of the USDA Child Nutrition Program permanent meal pattern standards proposed for a final rule. The slide posted here shows a summary of transitional standards, including flexibility to provide 1% flavored milk, a marginal decrease planned for sodium for lunch only as a target 1A standard for school year 23-24, and a standard for whole grains of ensuring that at least 80% of the whole grains provided over the course of a week are whole grain rich. For references on the transitional meal pattern standards, please see this memo linked on the slide. It's SFS 22-90 and also memo SFS 22-91. The slides and video from the transitional standards training are posted on the Louisiana FidKids site, and it's linked here on this slide. USDA's milk tip sheet is designed for program operators as a handy and easy to use reference on how to credit milk into the meal pattern requirements. So all are welcome to download these materials and make copies. To download the file, please right-click on the link on the slide and go ahead and save this link to your desktop. To assist SFAs in making decisions regarding whole grains in the child nutrition program, the whole grain resource for the National School Lunch and School Breakfast Program has been revised. This version includes consideration for the 2022 final rule for child nutrition programs in light of the transitional meal standards. This guide provides examples of various grain products often served in schools and walks the user through the process of determining whether products are whole grain rich, creditable as enriched, or not creditable. So going back to touch base on the USDA proposed final rule for school nutrition standards, USDA is building on the transitional meal pattern toward meeting the dietary guidelines for Americans while keeping in mind that the meals must appeal to children. USDA welcomes your feedback on these proposed changes through public comment, as the rule is proposed at this time and is not yet final. USDA is looking at a phased-in approach for the final rule and targets the 4 main areas listed on this slide, including added sugars, milk, whole grains, and sodium. Please take an opportunity to go to the link listed on this slide and look at each nutrition topic area for the plans proposed and instructions on how to make comments for considerations in finalizing the proposed rule. Also at this link, you'll find a variety of resources, including a comparison chart of current standards versus proposed standards. There's also an infographic on the proposed rule for school meal standards and the timeline for implementation. There also is an infographic called The Road Ahead, Building Back Better with School Meals. All of these, please take a look at all of these different resources, and hopefully then you will be prepared to go forward and make a comment on the proposed rule. So after you have had that opportunity, please use the QR code on this slide to make public comments. You're going to see a green button at the upper right side of the page prompting you to submit a formal comment. Clicking that button will take you to a comment entry box and a file upload option if you prefer to write and save a summary of comments for upload. And you will be asked to submit this in one of three formats: as an individual, as an organization, or anonymously, as is pictured on this slide. Remember, when submitting comments or files, you are filing a document into an official docket. So any personal information included in your comment, text, or uploaded attachments may be publicly viewable on the web. So just be aware that the information that you are posting, whether or not you request to be anonymous, will be publicly viewed. So let's talk, we'll just touch base on the Medicaid demonstration project for 22-23 school year. So we're just circling back here to Medicaid matching, and Louisiana is one of 8 states that were selected to participate in this demonstration project to evaluate the impact of using Medicaid eligibility data to directly certify students for free and reduced price meals. And this effort began this school year and continues throughout the remainder of school year 22-23. State agencies match school enrollment data with Medicaid eligibility data to identify children who receive Medicaid or live with a child who receives Medicaid and whose family income before expenses and deductions does not exceed either 130% of the federal poverty level for free school meal eligibility or 185% of the federal poverty level for reduced price meal eligibility. So please note that not all children receiving Medicaid will receive free or reduced meals because, as previously stated, this is based on their income. So due to differences in household definition and income assessments between programs, some children directly certified for reduced price meals through Medicaid may have been eligible for free meals if the household applied. USDA requires that these households receive notice of the income level used and be offered the opportunity to apply if their income, based on National School Lunch Program eligibility policies, is within the limit for free meals. Under the Medicaid demonstration project, children are not considered to be categorically eligible and may be directly certified only via an automated data matching process with the Medicaid eligibility records. Therefore, households are not allowed to handwrite their Medicaid case number on the application or provide proof of Medicaid in order for their child to be eligible for free or reduced price meals. Students eligible for free or reduced price meals based on an application or direct certification with another program cannot be negatively impacted by the match with Medicaid data. If an SFA has determined that a child is directly certified and they're directly certified as reduced price eligible through Medicaid, and the child is determined to be directly certified through SNAP, TANF, or FDPIR, or otherwise identified as homeless, runaway, or enrolled in a federally funded Head Start program, or is a foster child, the LEA's free direct certification determination supersedes the Medicaid reduced price status. Medicaid free and Medicaid reduced should be extended to siblings wherever it benefits them in the same household. So we're looking to increase benefits as a result of Medicaid, and it should never cause a student's benefit to go down. So let's talk about supply chain assistance funds, the third allocation. So to open up this topic, the recording of the September 26th Program Monitoring and Operational Support Division webinar, Supply Chain Assistance Best Practices for State Agencies and School Food Authorities, is now available for all SFAs, and the webinar, the link to the webinar is on this slide. Because the underlying conditions fueling supply chain disruptions and other economic uncertainty remain significant in many parts of the country, FNS provided an additional $471.5 million in SCA funds. State agencies will distribute this third round of SCA funding to eligible school food authorities using the same formula used to distribute the first and second rounds of funds. Much like the second allocation of SCA funds, these funds remain limited to the purchase of unprocessed or minimally processed domestic food products, and additional information will be provided soon. For resources on supply chain assistance, please refer to the following resources for more information, and make sure that you register for the February 9th training. And during that training, we will go over what to expect for this first round of supply chain assistance funds, and you can register for that training at louisianafitkids.com, and the direct link to that is included on this slide. Our next topic is procurement and food service management company allowable costs. Emergency procurement provisions in place during the height of the pandemic are no longer in place. And that's just a reminder to follow your regular procurement provisions and to update your school year 22-23 procurement plan where needed. So remember that on May 31st, 2022, that Governor John Bel Edwards signed House Bill 2021, Act 204 into law. And this act increased the micro purchase threshold from $10,000 to $30,000 and the small purchase threshold from $30,000 to $60,000. And the effective date was August 1st of 2022. Act 204 states that all purchases of any materials or supplies exceeding the sum of $60,000 to be paid out of public funds shall be advertised and let by contract to the lowest responsible bidder who has bid according to the specifications as advertised. Purchases of $30,000 or more, but less than $60,000 shall be made by obtaining not less than 3 quotes by telephone, facsimile, email, or any other printable electronic form. If telephone quotes are received, a written confirmation of the accepted offers shall be obtained and made a part of the purchase file. If quotations lower than the accepted quotation are received, the reasons for their rejection shall be recorded in the purchase file. So please keep these things on file as you go through your procurement procedures. As a reminder, 2 CFR 200 states to the maximum extent practicable, program operators should distribute micro purchases equitably among qualified suppliers. So remember, when making micro purchases, they may be awarded without soliciting competitive price or rate quotations if the program operator considers the price to be reasonable based on research, experience, purchase history, or other information and documents that it files accordingly. So just remember to spread the wealth when it comes to management of documentation of purchases using the micro purchase method. These thresholds have been updated in the school year 22-23 procurement plan prototype available on the CMP website under the form section for your use. Switching procurement topics to handling of food service management company contracts, please refer to the CMP website under the form section for the following resources. First, the prototype for food service management company contract for program year 23-24 is tailored in compliance with state and federal child nutrition program regulations. And second, our instructions on completion of the request for proposal for program year 23-24. So please check on the CMP website for these 2 helpful resources. The state agency has noted that some food service management companies have been charging fees to SFAs outside of allowable expenses. So just like with any other contract, please be reminded that the Child Nutrition Program Food Service Management Company contract is a strictly meal times rate contract and must be monitored on a regular basis. Please refer to Section 1, Scope and Purpose of the Food Service Management Prototype contract and the charge to the SFA or sponsor for food service management company fee is to be clearly identified in the proposal. Fees imposed by a food service management company outside of this contract may not be paid for with child nutrition program funds. So just please make sure that everyone is understanding of that meal times rate contract and that there are regular monitoring procedures in place to make sure that happens. Next up is CACFP and SFSP area eligibility. The USDA Food and Nutrition Service announced that the 2023 Child and Adult Care Food Program and Summer Food Service Program participant area eligibility data are now available. At the start of every fiscal year, FNS releases a special tabulation of data provided by the Census Bureau for CACFP and SFSP that establishes area eligibility. These data are effective as of October 1st, 2022. The FNS's mapping tool have also been updated to reflect this new data. To see the map and FNS open data site, please access it through the links on this slide. To learn more about using census data for establishing area eligibility in CACFP and SFSP, please see our policy memo SP08 2017, Area Eligibility in Child Nutrition Programs. And this is issued by USDA December 1st of 2016, and it is linked on this slide. I'm going to take a moment to see if there are any questions in our chat box, and I will get right back on. Okay, so I've taken a review and we don't have any questions remaining right now in chat. If you do have questions for us, please contact us directly at the Louisiana Department of Education, Division of Nutrition Support at Child Nutrition Programs at la.gov, or by calling 225-342-9661. I thank everyone for your time and for your attention during today's call. And I hope you have a wonderful afternoon.